Hello everyone! This video is going to teach you how to edit what's called a VOSOT called celery fields. A VOSOT is a news term that stands for voiceover sound on tape. It's referring to a short news piece that's got a little bit of video at the front, followed by an edited soundbite and a little bit of video after that. You're going to learn how to edit this VOSOT on Premiere, and the assignment is very much going to parallel the VOSOT assignment that you've been given in class. Let me grab my notes here. In the first part of this, we're going to learn how to organize video and get ready. Then we're going to get familiar with Premiere, and you'll learn the mechanics of it and create the structure of the piece. And finally, we're going to tweak things. We're going to manage audio, we're going to deal with graphics, and then we'll learn how to export the project. In a moment, I'm going to pull up Premiere, and you'll see the final version of what you're about to make. So we get a look at that first. But first, let's take a look at the script. So this is Google Drive, and you'll be working with a folder called BRD 110 Fall Editing Projects. In there, there's a folder called Celery Fields, and here's where you have your stuff that you're going to be downloading, which includes all the video as well as two documents, the Celery Fields script and the practice edit sheet. You want to have those either printed or available to be put up on your screen so you can work with them as I talk. Here's the script, and we'll make that full screen. And what this is a story about the opening of a new facility at a bird watching place in Sarasota, Florida, where I went and I shot this. It's written in a standard 2-column format. So on the left side of any TV script, you've got video information, and on the right side, you have audio information, including what's spoken or what is said in a soundbite. This whole thing will be read aloud in class, and the video doesn't start until the second sentence of the VOSOT. The spoken copy is written in all capitals. The soundbite is written in regular upper-lower case. On the left side, I also put in clip information, which clip to use, maybe where the end point should be and how long the clip should be, because I timed out my read with a stopwatch on my phone for each sentence. So the first edited shot from clip 45, for example, is going to last from 0 to 8 seconds. The second shot will be going from 0 to 13 or 14, 5 or 6 seconds, and the information is given to you. And I also put in graphic information such as the name of the interviewee as well as the location of the story, Sarasota. This is the Premiere editing template, and it's also a finished project of Celery Fields. And I want to introduce you to the different parts and panels of what we're looking at here. So if you click on any one of these different panels, you'll note that a blue rectangle will surround it. That tells that you're ready to work inside that panel. In the upper left corner is what's called the source panel. That's where we can look at any clip that we decide to pull up in preview. To the right of the source panel is the program panel, where we see the movie as it's being made. In the lower left is the project panel, and that's where we import our clips into. To the right of the project panel is the toolbar, where we have different tools, most notably the selection or selector tool at the top. And to the right of that is the timeline, where we create our sequence. And to the right of that is the audio meter, where if you play, you can see that the audio is shown there on a graphic display. So those are the different panels. I'm going to move this a little bit to the right so that we see both the script and the timeline. And I'm going to ask you to follow along. I want you to pay attention to what I'm reading, to the video that goes with it in the program panel, because that's what people would see. And you can also just take note of the timeline as it's playing along. Here we go. Again, we don't play video until the second line. Pay attention, bird watchers. There will be a grand opening of a new facility this weekend. The Sarasota Audubon Visitor and Nature Center will be celebrating its completion this Saturday. Audubon raised more than $900,000 to build it. The center is located at Celery Fields, a bird sanctuary in Sarasota County. Staff say the new building will be used to educate the public about all kinds of wildlife. Since a dredging project in the mid-1990s, Celery Fields has become one of the most popular bird watching destinations in Florida.
People come out here sometimes that aren't birders just to experience this beauty. It's just a little diamond in the middle of a city.
After spending time in the center, visitors can see some pretty amazing sights, like the view of these two American bald eagles vying for the best spot on a perch. Ooh, wasn't that good? So before we go straight to Premiere, we're going to spend a little while right now on creating a file structure for this project, which is really the same kind of thing you'll do for any project on Premiere. And creating a file structure is really a critical step, so pay attention, because if you don't follow this step, what could happen in the future is that you go to open up your project and Premiere says, got your project, but I don't really see all the video. And bottom line is you could be really frustrated. So listen up. All right, let me escape here and bring up your Google Drive folder. And the next thing to do is to go into that folder and to highlight all of the clips and download. So I'm going to ask you to download, and you can pause the video after the download is, and come back to it as soon as the download is done. Okay, so while the video, oh, wait a minute, sorry. Bone for my dog. Come here, join us. Upsy-doo, come on. Oh, yeah. Oh. That's Noelle. Thank you very much. So while the video is downloading, it goes into our downloads folder. Let's get to that. And let me minimize myself and bring up the downloads folder, which will have our video in it. Very good. And over here, this represents my flash drive that I've put into my computer, and I'm going to create a file structure now. And the file structure is actually laid out for you on your practice edit sheet. On the practice edit sheet, it says, okay, create a file structure, and you're going to first call the big folder Celery Fields, or something like that. And then you'll make 4 subfolders within it. And those subfolders will have these titles: 1 raw, 2 project, 3 drafts, and 4 master. I'll explain in just a sec what the different subfolders are for, but let's make those folders. To make a new folder, various ways to do it. You can go File, New Folder up there, or you can go Shift-Command-N. Shift-Command-N, kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. And let's give those names that I just laid out for you. 1 raw. Next one is 2 project. Very good. Next one is 3 drafts. And the last one is 4 master. We'll open up the raw folder that we just made, and we want to put all of our clips into the raw folder. That's what the raw folder is for. So we highlight all the clips and we can just drag them into the raw folder, and they will take a moment to load in. So we might want to pause the video for a second, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, so once all of the clips have copied into your raw folder, you can say goodbye to your downloads, and we can take a closer look at the file structure we just created. The raw folder is for all your video and any other elements that you're going to need for your project. The project folder is where you will save your project, which we will do on Premiere in just a second. The drafts folder is for a rough cut version of your movie, and the master folder is for your final movie. Let's now launch Premiere, which I have on place for you to be able to access Premiere. But however you know how to get to Premiere, launch it, and it will take us to a welcoming window which will ask you, do you want to open up a new project or to open up an old one? And I'm going to ask you to select New Project. And that will get to this all-important New Project window, which is where we kind of finish this critical phase of our start. First, where it says name, we're going to give this a name, Celery Fields. I'll give it a number 1 for grins. And then I'm going to browse. And I'm going to browse. This is where I'm saying this is where I want the project to be saved. And I'm going into my flash drive, which is called KO64. And I'm choosing the project folder where I want everything to be saved. And when I do that, I've really just about finished the connection of the start. A couple other things I'd like you to check. If you see this tab where it says scratch disks, that's a good one to look at just to make sure everything is going into the project folder. Once you've seen that, just click OK. And there you see your template. Now we're going to import the clips into the project panel. The way we can do that is multifold. We can go File, Import, and when you do something like that through File, you often see on the right side there that there is an explanation of what the shortcut is. On a Mac, it's Command-I. On a PC, you're almost always substituting Control for Command, so it would be Control-I on a PC. So try that. Go Command-I, and a window will pop up and it says, okay, where do you want to get this stuff? I want to go to my raw folder, which is on my flash drive, and I want to highlight all of these clips. I can press down and drag to highlight them all, or I can highlight the top one, hit the Shift key, and then hit the last one. However you do it, just highlight them all and import. And in just a moment, they're all going to go boom, boom, boom into your project panel. And there you can see they're all there. There are a couple of ways to look at your clips, and that's either with the icon view or the list view. This is the list view that you see right here, and this is the icon view. There's a little icon view thing and a list view thing down below, and you can see your clips. If you click on any one of them, they'll pop up into the source panel, and you can see them and play them in just a sec. We will. But another thing I want you to be aware of is that you can make any of these panels go full screen by hitting the tilde key. What is the tilde key? That is just to the left of the number 1 on your keyboard. It's a little squiggle, and if you hit it, it makes any panel go full screen. So I can look at my clips if I want to full screen. I choose list view. Let me go back to that, and I'm going to go back to our regular layout with my clips in list view. I'm going to minimize our template for 1 second. Just hit the little yellow button so I can talk to you. Hello. We're going to drag some video in a second as a way to get our timeline started. It's a little technique that's very good for that. But for the most part, I do not want you to be dragging big chunks of video as a way to move video around or to edit. It's not efficient. It's like instead of taking just what you need to put it exactly where you want, you're taking this huge thing and then you're trying to cut it down. We're going to be doing what's called 3-point editing, which is like, I'm going to put this here, I'm going to put that here, and I'm going to put it exactly right there, and boom, it lands exactly where you go. So let's get back on to our template. Hello. And we'll look at that. And we are going to select clip number 45. Really, any of these clips would do, but I'm using clip 45 because that's the video that we start on. And we are going to drag here, and we're dragging for a specific reason. What I want you to do, I'll do it first, is I want you to hold down on your mouse or your play pad, and as you do, drag and bring all the way from the source panel into the timeline, from source into timeline, and then after you are in timeline, release. And boom, a sequence has been created. And what's good about what we just did, by dragging video into the timeline, when you get started, you match the settings of your video to Premiere, so you will not have to resize things. If you don't do this, you might have to change the size of some of your clips, which is a big labor. That's a good way to get started. Okay, so we've got this timeline, and we've got 6 different tracks, 3 different video tracks. I'm going to make them all blue by clicking on them, V1, V2, and V3, and 3 audio tracks, A1, A2, and A3. But you know what? We don't really need that many tracks for this. We really just need 2 video tracks and 2 audio tracks. So let's delete some of them by going up into Sequence and down to Delete Tracks. There it is. Click on that, and you get a little window, and it says, you want to get rid of some of your video tracks? Yeah, I want to get rid of video 3. And you want to get rid of one of your audio tracks? Yeah, I want to get rid of audio 3. And click OK, and boom, they're gone. Nice.